Okay, guys, now we're going to be taking a look at L4, graph solutions to the absolute value. So we're going to solve things in the same manner that we did before, but now we're going to put the solution on the number line. Now, one of the things that they like to do is they like to write the absolute value on the opposite side. So I'm going to take the time and rewrite. 1 is less than this, which means this has to be greater than that. So I'm going to write this as t plus 7, the absolute value of t plus 7, is greater than 1. It's greater than 1. So this becomes a greater or an or statement. So the positive case is t plus 7 is greater than 1. And then t plus 7, we're going to flip and solve for the mirror image. So in both cases, we subtract 7. In both cases, we subtract 7. This is going to give me t 1 minus 7 is negative 6. So t is greater than negative 6. Or t is less than negative 8. So t is greater than negative 6. So that is from negative 6 on, but not including negative 6. Then negative 8 and everything less than that, but not including negative 8. Okay? And that looks good. So let me just erase this real quick. Now here they do the same thing again. So I'm going to take the time and rewrite. So that is 4 is greater than or equal to the absolute value, but I want the absolute value on the left-hand side before I read this. So the absolute value of r plus 3. So if 4 was greater than this, then this is less than or equal to 4. Okay, so this is just another way of writing that. Again, I want the absolute value on the left-hand side. So the absolute value of r plus 3 is less than or equal to 4. That's isolated. Less than means and statement. So what's inside r plus 3, we never change what's inside, is less than or equal to 4. And then now the r plus 3, what was inside, needs to be set equal to the opposite. So the mirror image, this was less than. I want the mirror image of the less than, which is greater than. And the mirror image of 4 is negative 4. Okay, so now we can subtract 3 on both sides. Subtract 3 on both sides. That is going to give me 4 minus 3 is 1. So r is less than or equal to 1. And r is greater than or equal to negative 7. Okay, now this is going to graph as a connected graph. So from negative 7 to positive 1 and everything in between. Again, the center of this, r plus 3, the center of that would be negative 3. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Okay, things that are less than 1, 2, 3, 4 units in one direction and 1, 2, 3, 4 units in the other direction. So less than 4 units from the middle, which is 0. Okay. All right, this one is written correctly. So I'm just going to get right into the solve. So you have the left-hand side, which is isolated. The absolute value of r plus 4 is less than 5. R plus 4 is less than 5. So that is a less than. R plus 4 is going to be less than 5. There's the positive case. Again, what's inside, we never change what's inside the absolute value. So we could do r plus 4 again, but now we want the mirror image. So the mirror image of less than is a greater than, and the mirror image of positive 5 in the number line would be negative 5. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. And that is going to give us r is less than 1 and r is greater than negative 9. Okay, so from negative 9 to positive 1, but we don't want 1 and we don't want negative 9. Now, like I said before, the middle of this absolute value is going to be negative 4 because negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So there's my 0. I can be no more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units in one direction on one side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units on the other side. Okay. Looks like we got another and statement. These are getting a little repetitive, but we'll do them for a little bit. I'll probably, once the timer hits around 10 minutes, I'll have to break. So absolute value of P minus 3. I want this on the left-hand side. Right now it's on the right. So 4 is greater than this, so this must be less than 4. Okay, so the absolute value of P minus 3 is less than 4. Less than means the inequality, the compound is going to be and. We have P minus 3. What's inside? Set equal to the positive case. We never change what's inside. P minus 3. Now we're going to flip. So the mirror image of less than is greater than, and the mirror image of positive 4 is negative 4. Okay, we can add 3 to both sides. Add 3 to both sides. And we've got P is less than 7, and P is greater than negative 1. So this is an and statement. They're going to be connected from negative 1 to positive 7, but I don't want 7 and I don't want negative 1. So once again, we can say the middle of this function would be 0, and 0 occurs when P is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So if this is the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4 in that direction, and 1, 2, 3, 4 in that direction. No more than 4 units from the middle. Okay, once again, an and statement. This is getting very repetitive. Hopefully we'll get an or before the 10 minutes is up. All right, this has already been isolated, so I don't have to rewrite it. The absolute value is on the left-hand side, so that's perfect. Okay, D plus 3 is less than or equal to 4. Okay, so I'll set what's inside equal to the positive case. Never change what's inside, so take what's inside, and now flip and solve for the mirror image. Mirror image of less than is greater than. Mirror image of positive 4 is negative 4. So we'll subtract 3 from both sides. Subtract 3 from both sides. You've got D is less than or equal to 1, and D is greater than or equal to negative 7. Okay, so from negative 7 to positive 1, we actually want the endpoints. But again, the middle, negative 3 plus 3 would be 0. So negative 3 is the middle. No more than 1, 2, 3, 4 in one direction, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the other direction. Okay, again, that's an and statement. So these are all going to be connected. Okay, so this is not isolated. So the first thing we would want to do is subtract 5 from both sides. So that's going to give me a 3 on this side. And 3 is greater than this, which means this is less than 3. So absolute value of B plus 6 is less than or equal to 3. Less than and statement. B plus 6 is less than or equal to 3. B plus 6, never change what's inside. But now the mirror image of less than is greater than, and the mirror image of positive 3 is negative 3. Subtract 3 from, subtract 6 from both sides. Subtract 6 from both sides, and we've got B is less than or equal to negative 3, and B is greater than or equal to negative 9. Okay, let's go from negative 9 to negative 3. The middle would be negative 6. Okay, negative 6 plus 6 is 0. And we can be no more than 1, 2, 3 units in one direction, 1, 2, 3 units in the other direction. Okay, guys, good luck today. It's going to be tough.